Leadership growth is not just something that you want, it is something you decide. And for too many leaders, a decision they know they need to make, but keep delaying. On this episode, we're talking about why and what delay, why delay matters, and what are some of the reasons that leaders delay their own growth and development. This is the 30. Let's get started. Well, hello there, gang. Welcome to the 30, another episode, another exciting time to be with you. Thanks for joining us on this episode. The 30 is a space for meaningful conversation designed to support personal, professional, and leadership growth. 30, of course, is a production of the Jackman Group, LLC, and we are a training and development firm focused on developing leaders, taking them from where they are to where they desire to be. We all focus also not just on training, but we also focus on coaching of leaders and emerging leaders. Another thing that we focus on is helping you and your teams to become more effective and more efficient. So that's what we do at the Jackman Group, LLC. So thank you certainly for joining us. Remember to drop us a comment. If you're watching us from YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you be part of the 30 family. During this episode, I want to talk about something that previously affected me, and I know and I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it's affecting a lot of other leaders. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's not that I believe, I know. And I also know that it's quite affecting those that may not want to talk about it, may not want to discuss it, but I know it's affecting all of us as leaders, and it has affected us at least one time in our career. And that is not only because you don't care, not only because you don't know better, but because you keep delaying a decision that you know matters. And that decision is this: leadership growth. Not just wanting it or talking about it, but actually choosing it. Choosing to develop and grow as a leader. So today's title, we are going to be focused on leadership growth is a decision you keep delaying. It is necessary, but it's something for whatever reason we keep pushing back. We keep delaying. Because one of the biggest mistakes leaders make is assuming that growth happens simply because time passes. Because we have experience. Experience is built, or because our responsibilities, those that we have the privilege of leading, increase. So we need to look at some of the reasons why the delay is taking place. The truth is, leadership growth is not automatic, folks. Experience can't teach you, can only teach you. Experience can only teach you so much. You can only go so far with experience. And experience is a great thing. When you've developed experience, when you start to move forward as a leader, you become more tenured. There's some things that you can develop and that you know, but it's not just about experience. So experience can teach you a lot. Responsibility can stretch you. Pressure can reveal certain things. But none of these are guaranteed for growth. See, folks, growth happens when a leader makes an intentional decision to, one, learn, two, to be challenged, to be stretched, to stay teachable, and to invest in becoming better. So I don't know where you are in your leadership journey. I don't know if you believe that because you're tenured and you have the experience that you don't need growth. But all of us should desire to get better. All of us should desire to take our skill set, our leadership acumen to the next level. And if you are a leader, you're not doing that, we have a problem. See, that's the difference between leaders who drift and leaders who develop. It's all about growth. See, on one side, there are leaders who hope growth happens. And then on the other side, there are leaders who decides to pursue it. So one side, leaders who hope that, yeah, growth is going to take place. I'm going to develop. But then there on this side, there are leaders that actually make the decision and says, you know something? I'm going to pursue my personal growth, my professional growth, and then make that decision and that commitment to go forward and do it. See, that decision matters because leadership does not stay still. Leadership is always evolving. How we led prior to COVID is very different than how we lead now. Because we've evolved, things have changed. We have technology, we have entry into the job market. We have Gen Z who's requiring more. We have millennials who are requiring more of us as leaders. So folks, you're either growing into the next level of leadership or what? You're slowly getting limited by the current version of yourself. So you're either growing or you are falling behind. See, I prefer to grow. I don't know about you, but I prefer to grow and excel and go to the next level. Some people are just stuck in their ways. They're just stuck in their old way of leading, and they're falling behind. Because there's no middle ground. You're either growing or you're falling. No middle ground whatsoever. And that's part of what we're going to be discussing. See, during my conversation with leaders, I often ask two important questions. And the first one is, as a leader, is growth important to you? If the answer is yes, I take it a step further. And I ask them, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, where are you? How important is development to you? Where do you see yourself? So if they said 5, that's good, right? If we say 1 in terms of a level of importance, we have a problem. So if it's important, The second question that I follow up with, if the leader says it's important, I often ask this: is there a reason you delay the decision for development in order to grow? So if you tell me that, yes, it's a 5, development, growth and development is important to you, and I realize that you are not putting forth the commitment to develop yourself. You're making excuses. You're coming up with different reasons as to why you are not going to training sessions, why you don't have a coach. If you tell me that it's important, but you're not doing these things, my follow-up question is, why? Why are you delaying? What is the problem? There must be something there that's stopping you from moving forward, from making the decision for development and growth. And then we need to talk about. So let's look at why leaders delay the decision for development and growth. See, the second question brings a lot of reasons as to why. And I generally drill down to find out, well, what are some of the reasons? What are some of the reasons that you are delaying? You've made a decision to delay your own personal growth and development. It's like someone making the decision to say, okay, I'm not going to show up. Today, I'm not going to show up for my team. So that's what you're telling me, is that you are not showing up for your team. So here's some reasons I found in talking to leaders as well as doing some research on it. And I'm going to give you the real part of it, right? One of the reasons is, the number one reason that I hear is investment. See, some leaders don't want to make the investment in themselves, personally and professionally. Some leaders may say, well, my organization is not paying for it. But if development and growth is important to you, even if your organization is not paying for it, if it's important to you, and it should be, then you need to invest in yourself and make the investment out of your own pocket. I know things are hard. I know things can be challenging. But if growth and development is important to you and your organization is not paying for it, you need to make the sacrifice short term of investing in yourself and making the investment so that you can benefit long term. Because we're looking at the long game, we're not looking at the short game. Another reason that I find is this. It's not really about the money, it's about the time. Some are saying they don't have the time to. Well, that creates another problem. You're saying that you don't have the time, which tells me that there may be a time management issue. Again, if you say it's important to you, if something is important to us, we will make the time. We'll find the money and we'll find the time. Another reason why leaders don't find a commitment, or why leaders delay in their own development, is that they don't see the value. So number one is investment, right? Number two is that they don't have the time. And number three is that they don't see the value. But what they don't understand is this: the longer you delay your own growth, the longer you delay it, you're jeopardizing yourself and you're jeopardizing your team. So we talked about investment, we talked about time, right? And then we talk about value. They don't see the value. But here's another one: the fear of being challenged, or the fear that they think they'll be exposed. So fear of being exposed in their mind, they said, well, if I go to a training, if I go to a seminar, if I invest in a coach, someone may see that I'm really not who I say I am. So it's that fear, the fear of exposure, the fear of being challenged to take themselves to the next level. The fear of finding out there are gaps in their leadership ability. And now those gaps are starting to open up, and others may see that. So we're not saying that you, as a leader, that you should go to a training with your team member. We don't advise that whatsoever. But if development is important, if growth is important to you, you need to get rid of the fear. There's something that I heard a long time ago, which talks about what fear means, and FEAR, false evidence appearing real. So we need to get past that, push past the fear of being challenged, the fear of stepping into something new, the fear of learning something new. So we have to push past that and start to focus directly on our own development and growth. Another reason why leaders delay their own personal and professional growth and development is uncertainty. Some leaders delay because they're not sure what to expect. They're thinking, well, what will be required of me? Will this really help me? Will it be worth it? Goes back to value. They're not seeing the value. Is it worth it for me to go to attend? And what will they have to confront? Or what are they avoiding? Maybe they're avoiding something some trauma of the past. I don't know. But you really have to look at yourself and say, what are the reasons? If I say growth is important to me, if I say that development is important to me, if I say that I want to go to the next level as a leader, I want to go from being good to great to exceptional. If you say all those things, or you're saying the right things, what's stopping you? Why are you delaying your own growth, your own development? What is it? Say, it must be a reason why. Must be a reason why. So you have to dig down to find out what are some of those reasons. We're talking about leadership growth is a decision you can't keep delaying. A leader starts to think, I've been doing this for a long time. I don't need development. I already know everything. I've led teams. I've built organizations. I've made hard decisions. I don't really need this. I don't really need to grow in development. I've worked and excel and I've led teams and large organizations, multinational organizations. Yeah, but you have. But what if you decide to take another step? What if you decide to say, okay, I'm going to open myself up because I know there's something else. See, none of us have arrived. All of us operate and live below our full capacity. None of us operate at full capacity. We all operate below that. So we need to take another step. We need to make the decision and says, okay, I've put it off too much, too long. The day is not where I'm so locked in, where I can't take a day, I can't take a couple of days off from the pressure of the office to go and sit among others and learn. And guess what? As you're learning, others that's in the room are learning from you. So it's a two-way street, right? We're all learning from each other. You give, you receive. That's what it's all about. So you got to be in the room. You always hear, well, I'm not in the room. I'm not at the table. So in order to grow, you have to be at the table. We're talking about intentional growth. We're talking about taking a step forward, taking off the mask, taking off who we think we are, and focusing on who we should be. That's what this is all about. So when we delay, folks, when we delay our own personal and professional growth, you have to realize that there's a cost. The cost doesn't stay hidden forever. There's a cost which is financially, right? It's because when leaders delay, the cost actually and eventually shows up. It shows up in our thinking that gets and sounds too familiar, right? It shows up in decisions that come from habit instead of a fresh perspective. We're doing the same thing over and over again. We're not looking for something new. For some, it's working out great for them. For others, not so much. It also shows up in the teams that we lead, because they're seeing that. It shows up in leadership that leans too hard on experience and not enough on continued growth. So there's a cost to our delaying of our personal and professional growth. When it comes to our teams, when we as leaders delay growth, the team often feels it before we as leaders do. And you've heard me talk about that in previous episodes. See, the leader stops stretching. We stop learning. We stop evolving. And our teams see that. So that's why this matters. That's why growth and development matters. See, delaying growth is not neutral. It slows our momentum and it limits our capacity. Over time, it becomes a ceiling to us. We're not breaking through and getting to where we should be. We're limited in what we do and how we lead. And friends, that's exactly why serious leaders decide before they feel completely ready. If you characterize yourself as a serious leader, don't wait, right? Don't be reactive. Be proactive with your own personal and professional development. Don't wait until someone sees it and calls you out on it. See, here at the Jackman Group, who are the producers of the 30, our desire, one of the reasons that we exist, is because of our passion and our desire to help leaders. We care so deeply about intentional development. Because we know leadership growth should not stay on the wish list. It should not stay on your goal list. 2024, we say that we're going to grow, become exceptional. We're going to set some goals. We're going to go to classes. We're going to have a coach. 2024 passed, 2025, we reset the goal. We delay, no action. We reset it again for 2026. So here's 2026. What are you going to do? Are you going to delay again? Or are you going to take action? Are you going to be real with yourself? Look yourself in the mirror and says, I am not to the point where I should be. What's that sound? I think is by Michael Jackman, Man in the Mirror. So look yourself in the mirror and says, my desire is to become a stronger leader, an exceptional leader, but I've been delaying and I've been putting it off for 2, 3 years, for 10 years. Now is the time for me to get up and make it happen. Are you the person that just talk about it, or are you the person that just does it? You want to be someone of action, not someone that just talks. Because if you put it on your goal sheet for 2024, 2025, 2026, and it doesn't get done this year, maybe you'll put it again on your goal list for 2027. So what are you going to do? When are you going to stop delaying the decision to grow? See, your decision should be one that is urgent, one that's intentional, takes commitment for you to make it happen. So it should be a real decision. If we keep putting off our own personal and professional growth as leaders, eventually we're going to hit that point, that plateau, that ceiling. And we know it. Our peers know it. Our team knows it and sees it. And we stay the same. We're not growing. Folks, that's exactly why we decide to have courses or experiences and programs like the MPACT Leaders Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience. Because our desire, again, is to help you. Our desire is to take you from where you are as a leader. And I don't know where you are. You may be the great leader out there. You might be at the top. But we all have the capacity to grow. We all need to push forward. None of us have arrived. Some of us think that we have arrived. And then some of us think, well, I don't need to go to that training or to that experience or to that program because I know more than the person that's teaching it. And you may. That's why you need to spread your experience and come and attend a training where you can help develop others. You can learn from others and others can learn from you. As a facilitator, I can learn from you and maybe you can learn a couple of things from us. But MPACT Leaders Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience starts April 14th. We are in the home stretch of registration. You only have a couple more days to enroll. And I invite you. There's in the description of this episode, there is the link. I invite you to join us. This one is going to be in person in the Rochester area. So if you live in Rochester, New York, Monroe County, Buffalo, Syracuse, and the surrounding areas, I invite you to join us starting Tuesday, April 14th. 5 weeks, 1 day per week, every Tuesday for 5 weeks. Now, down the road, as we go further And this year we'll have one that will be virtual. But for now, this is an in-person experience. This is designed for leaders who know that they need more. That they need more in terms of knowledge. They need more in terms of coming together with their peers. They're not just relying on experience. They're not content with where they are, but they're looking for more. If that's you, click on a link and join us. This is for leaders who are ready to invest in their growth, restructure, community, challenge, and application. Because we're going to challenge you. We're also going to help you to apply what you've learned. Because for some leaders, this is the development decision they can't keep delaying. Don't delay, folks. This is the time. As I said, time is running out. We only have a very short window for you to enroll. So if you've been delaying your decision, I urge you again, delay no more. Click on the link in the description. Go register. Invest in yourself. We always say invest in you. Become the leader that you're designed to be. As I prepare to close out, let me, as we normally do, leave you with a few questions, what we call the reflection. This is the area or the time of the episode or the show where we reflect. I ask you some questions. You look at it, you reflect on them, and my hope as you reflect on them that you will come up with some answers, that some answers will be revealed to you. And if you need to get a hold of us, you can email us at info@jackmangroupllc.com. That's info@jackmangroupllc.com. The first question is, where in your leadership have you been delaying your growth? Where in your leadership journey have you been delaying your growth? That's the first reflection question. Number two, what reason or reasons have you been using to postpone your decision to grow and go to the next level? What reason or reasons have you been using to postpone your decision? Is it investment? Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? Is it experience? What's the reason? Or is it just being too busy, reacting? Reaction versus what? You don't want to react all the time. You want to be proactive, right? So is it just being too busy, reacting to step back and grow? So take a look at those three areas, three reflection questions, and answer them honestly. So as we end, here's another question for you. What would change if you stop delaying and finally make the decision to grow? What would change if you finally say, okay, enough is enough. I've had it. I'm going to make the decision to grow. I'm going to make the decision to attend a leadership class, read some more books, invest in a coach. If you are in my neck of the woods, I'm going to make the decision to sign up for MPACT Leaders Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience. So where are you? In closing, let me take a brief look here. I don't do this quite often, but I want to take a look at what we have here in our chat. Okay. Let's go ahead and close. So as we close, I remind you of this. Leadership growth is a decision. And the longer leaders delay that decision, the more they delay the clarity, capacity, and maturity that growth would produce. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this episode. This has been Leadership Growth is a Decision You Can't Keep Delaying. Remember, make the decision, invest in you. Click on the link in this show's description and join us for MPACT Leaders Spring 2026 Leadership Development Experience, which starts on April 14th. I will see you on another episode of The 30. May God bless you and your family. Be safe out there. We'll see you around. Thank you for watching this episode.